Like I said, I put another advert on.
Let's see who we attract.
Okay, evening everybody. Welcome to Charlie.d's podcast. We're going to talk about the Arsenal v Leeds game that was on yesterday. We have Garry and Jason with us, who have got the one of their groups. I can introduce it in a minute. So if you've got any questions, get them in the chat, and we'll see what we can answer. So, Jason, tell us a bit about the group.
Well, basically, Garry.
Oh, okay, Garry, you tell us about the group.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened to Jason. Yeah, basically, I started the group about 10 years ago. All it was meant to be a little local thing, just me and a few pals, you know, just like updating them about a bit of transfer news. And then after about 2 years, it just sort of exploded. I guess it went viral, and yeah, we should be hitting 1 million members. So basically, like, it's the biggest Arsenal group on Facebook. So yeah, we've got members from all around the world that, who come on quite regular. I guess we've got about 10,000 regular, 10,000 a week interacting with the group. So yeah, it keeps me busy anyway. It keeps, like, I've got like a little admin team. Jason's on my admin team.
Yep.
So like, we try and keep it balanced.
Yeah.
We don't really it's not really agenda driven. It's not financial driven. It's just keeping people up to date with what's going on. So yeah, I enjoy it though. It's a bit of fun, you know.
Yeah, I enjoy it too.
So what you're about 150,000 off 1 million now, aren't you?
No,
no, closer to about 10,000 off 1 million.
10,000 off 1 million. So, which sounds a lot, but that's probably a month worth of admin members. So.
Well, give the name of the group out so that if anybody is watching, they can join up. Just press the join button.
The group's called Arsenal FC Transfer News and Targets. If you search on your Facebook, it's like the biggest Arsenal group on there, so you can't miss it. It probably pop up on your feed.
Yeah, it's a private group, but the way we police the group, we don't allow just anyone to post. People can contact Garry and ask to post certain things, and pending approval, they can be approved. But it's just the admin and moderator team that can post things. So it's not a group where you're going to be scrolling through pointless, aimless sort of, oh, look at this picture of Bukayo Saka and blah blah blah. It's things we try to keep it to kind of solid rumors, solid news, and some musings here and there. But other than that, it's definitely one of the I would say one of the best groups out there. I mean, there are other good groups out there, but we're definitely, the way we police it, we definitely try to keep things clean, and we try to get rid of people. Some people, they get strikes, so to speak. Obviously, if someone's being a bit of a dick, then, we might let it slide, but no abusing of members. And if anyone's just spamming the group, we just straight up remove them. Our block list is, if we were to unblock everyone that was in our block list, we'd be over 1 million. Easy.
Yeah. Well, you're always going to get people, aren't you, and trolls.
Yeah. Yeah, we try to just get rid of them.
Let's get on with the game yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. Where should we start? Let's start. Javal, should Aubameyang have been playing, or do you reckon he should have been on the bench?
Oh no, I was happy to see him starting. Sorry, Garry, you can.
Yeah, I was happy to see him on the team sheet. Before this game, he had been misfiring, but you can't bench a player and expect him to improve. No, obviously, what's going on in his personal life, it come out that his mum was ill or something like that. But how much of an effect on his game that had, well, I don't know. But 3 beautiful goals.
It could have been a fourth as well. That one that hit the crossbar.
The first goal was.
Oh, that was unreal, wasn't it?
I knew that his confidence was, going to rocket just after that first goal. So
see by the look on his face, it was back to that over that we all love to see. That big smile. It was super relief, and you could tell it was for his mum. That one, it had meaning to it.
Yeah.
Obviously, second goal.
I've got to be honest.
Come on, mate.
Yeah, so I've got to be honest. I didn't think he should have. Luckily enough, I was proven wrong.
Yeah.
Leeds are a team, aren't they? It's you just don't know where they're going to go.
Who would you have started?
Go on, Gal.
Who would you have started in his place? Lacazette.
I'd have probably played Lacazette. Yeah.
She's another player. His form really dipped at the beginning of the season. He looked really overweight to me, Lacazette, at the start of the season. He weren't doing anything. He just didn't look like the player we signed. But he's just.
Then again, nor did Aubameyang. This season, no one sort of have done well, have they? But I've got to admit, I think. See, if you're not playing, you can't score goals.
Exactly.
Well, you know what they say about form is temporary, class is permanent. And I think, Aubameyang was a bit of class. And, years before he signed for Arsenal, we would get, obviously, where I run a transfer group, his name popped up over the past 6 years. When he was at Dortmund, I don't know if you watched German football, but he was German league's very different to our league. But
very, yeah.
Yeah, I weren't in any doubt when we signed him. He's a great player.
No, me either. I was very excited. Very, very excited to sign Aubameyang. It's the same, obviously, you've just mentioned there is dip in form recently and his lack of goals. If you actually have a look at his stats from his time at Dortmund and his time at even St. Etienne, there is points in his career where he goes multiple league games without scoring, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, and then he'll hit a brace, he'll hit a hat trick, he'll score, he'll go a game without, he'll score. So, I mean, obviously, it's something we don't want to happen while he's playing for Arsenal. We don't want him to be out of form. But it wasn't something that was too irregular where it comes to Aubameyang. He always manages to pick back up. He always manages to find his feet. And obviously, like Garry said, and we're all aware, there's stuff going on in his personal life right now that, obviously has been playing on his mind. And I imagine social media now, it's more prevalent than ever that social media abuse and things like that is really starting to affect certain players. And that's happening mostly, it's kind of sad to see, mostly in the Premier League. But, everywhere in the world, people are being targeted, especially black players.
Well, evidently, I think I saw something on one of the socials yesterday that Martial was targeted again, wasn't he?
Yeah, after the 1-1 draw, yeah. It's disgusting.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
stop. Really is.
I mean, I hate to target the demographic for the people that would be doing that sort of thing, but I imagine it's people younger than myself. I imagine it's people that are in their late teens, and they know that they can do that sort of thing on social media. They can hide behind a fan account. They can hide behind a fake account. They can have a VPN so that IP can't be traced. And they can just be ruthlessly horrible and appeal to other like-minded idiots that will keep the snowball rolling. And, it's too hard for, like players mentioned, Joe Willock did an interview the other day for Newcastle. And he was saying that, it's impossible not to see in your social media sometimes, because even if people are interacting it in a negative way, them interactions are still coming in, and then they get curious and click on it, and then they see the hate and they see the death threats and they see and it's horrific. But I don't know if there's much that can be done about it, to be honest.
would have thought it can come anywhere in the world, can't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Back to the game anyway.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Is, yeah.
So,
Second.
do we think we should have had a?
Sorry, what was that, Charlie?
So, do we think that Saka should have had a penalty?
What, previously to the one we got given?
Yeah.
100%.
I'm not too sure about that, Jason.
Yeah,
mate.
I don't know. I just think with some of the ones that have happened recently.
As I say on BBC1, I've seen them given, but like as soon as they referred it to VAR, or actually VAR pulled the referee on it. When I watched it again, I've seen them given, but I knew he weren't going to give it. But then the more I looked at it, it wasn't really much in it anyway. It wasn't like I don't think it was.
Well, I'll be honest. I haven't. I saw the replay while seeing Red being angry at the referees once again. So, and obviously during halftime they didn't actually focus on the previous penalty. They just focused on what was Graham Souness being Graham Souness, blaming their goalkeeper rather than praising Arsenal. So I haven't actually seen it back since the game. So it might not have been, but
I always look at it. If it's a foul outside the area, which it would have been given, then it's a foul inside the area. As far as there should be no distinction between inside or outside the penalty area. What about Bamford's one then?
I think Cedric did enough to shield the ball.
He was sandwiched out.
I think Cedric did enough to shield the ball. I think he did what any defender would do in that situation, and I think he got enough of his body in front of the player before actually committing a foul. It's not like he took him down. It's not like he wiped him out, kicked the back of his leg or anything like that. He just shielded the ball. He pushed himself in front of Patrick Bamford. Bamford knew what he was doing and fell down. I mean, it could have been given, but I don't know.
What about Gal? Either or either.
Yeah.
Was it a penalty for you, Gal?
What, the Bamford one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you know what?
So
when you look at it from different angles, I don't really know. I couldn't possibly answer. I don't know.
I'm not sure that was, but I also think that Xhaka's first one was more than the one when the keeper took him out.
Do you
because
think
the player just ran across him and bars him off the ball?
I can't see that. I think the goalkeeper was a bit naive. Obviously, Saka's he's like shit off a shovel, and I think the keeper was naive then. But I'd say that was more of a penalty than the first one.
We'll come to.
I think either way, I think we were fair to get one and not get the other. Either way, regardless if you think the first one was more of a penalty than the second, most people are going to think at least one of them was a penalty, and we did end up getting one in the end. So we're usually cheated by that sort of shit anyway. So
I don't know. Do you know?
There's rumours going about. Hey,
I don't know about the
Say again, Gal.
So many people would say there's an agenda against Arsenal because of I don't really buy into all that, Charlie, to tell you the truth. People saying there's an agenda against Arsenal. I just think we've got a disciplinary problem. I really do, yeah. And there's some really bad decisions made by Premier League referees in every game.
It's true.
I'd say 50% of the games that I watch Premier League. So I don't know. It baffles me.
Over the season, I think it evens itself out.
Yeah, pretty much.
But
yeah,
I think what it is with Arsenal is with us, it seems to be it ain't just one thing in a game. It's sort of it's two or three things, and that's where you get the build up of the agenda. I think.
Yeah, the frustration.
One of the things I was going to mention was Louise's against Wolves. What do you think about that one, Jay? Do you think that was a sending off? Louise against Wolves?
No chance. No chance. I mean, again, I'm not a Premier League referee, but he barely makes contact. I mean, Christ, the guy's studs touched Louise. Louise didn't even have a mark on his knee, and he just had studs run up it.
I know.
I've seen stills of it, and like there's no contact.
There's no contact.
Minimal
it's not
contact.
Intentional contact.
So is it not intentional?
I mean, I wouldn't have given either. I wouldn't have given the penalty or the red card.
No. Going on what I see, I mean, when you see it live, you think, shit, penalty. But when obviously the referees and VAR have got the chance to see it 5, 6, 7, 8, you can see that the defenders, the forward's leg, caught Louise. It wasn't the other way round.
Yeah, exactly. And if you look at the Souček red card and how that one was overturned.
I know, madness. Well,
yeah, I was really
the only thing. Go on, Gal.
I was really thinking that when I heard they were going to appeal that Louis red card, I was 100% certain that it would be overturned.
Yeah,
and that's when the old conspiracy theories come out again. The agenda's against Arsenal, especially with like Jason was saying with the Souček one, like it's pretty much the same thing. So. I don't know. It is frustrating. Though.
If everyone else can see it,
why can't they?
Everyone else can see it. Why can't the referee and the disciplinary board see it? And also in the Wolves game, left standing off. Now, all right, he handballed it outside the box. Fair enough. There was a game the following day where the keeper took the player out completely. And didn't even get a yellow for it.
Yeah, it's just not consistent. That's the frustrating thing.
Yeah. I mean, I feel for Leno because when the ball comes to him like that, he had a split second to deal with it. And he's brought his hand round, it's come a copper. But that should have been a yellow card to me, not a red card.
No, I think that's a red card.
I think that was a red as well. It was a deliberate, I don't know. That was definitely more of a red than Luis's.
You say it's deliberate. You say it was deliberate, but he never, he hadn't even got a chance to think about it. It was just an accident, really, wasn't it?
That goalkeeping instinct, isn't it? It's just naturally move your arm towards it. So, but at least it was just the one game. And I mean, we'd already been cost in that game. I can't imagine that even without the Leno red card, we would have came back into that game. We started that game so strong. We should have easily gone on to win that game.
Yeah, that was amazing. The first half of that game. Anyway, we're talking about this game.
I think it's one of the best 45 minutes we've had this.
What that first half? Yeah. Along with this Leeds game as well. I thought I feel like it is frustrating because that this is what this group of players can do when Arteta picks the right starting lineup, and when they gel like that, we're unplayable at the moment. But we could lose the next two games. That's the frustrating. That's why fans are getting frustrated. That's why you get the Arteta out all the time, because obviously all the time you're winning. I mean, fans are loving it, but the frustrating thing is we lose our next two games, and it's like you're watching two different teams.
The thing is, I look at it. I set her in, right? I wouldn't say there's a process, but I believe he's got to be given time.
Yeah,
and you know, you can only play the teams that are in front of you. I've got to admit, some of Arteta's substitutions to me are crazy, absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
But you know, you have to play these to get, you know, bring youngsters through or new. No new player is going to join any club and fit in straight away.
No, exactly.
No.
And I think that's a problem with some Arsenal fans. You know, they want, and the manager comes in and has immediate success. Well, that Tuchel's, you know, he's had 3 games and they haven't lost. But you know, they're going to go on a run where they lose 2 or 3 on the spin. All teams do it. We've done it. City's done it. Look at Liverpool.
Yeah, things have really changed for Liverpool recently.
You know,
losing Van Dijk.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but they say one man doesn't make a team. But once Van Dijk was injured, that's when it sort of changed, wasn't it? And who's the other one who got injured? The centre half.
Joel Matip.
Phillips, was it Phillips? Yeah,
no, Joel Matip
and Phillips. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's rumours flying about today that they've offered Lou a contract, or they're going to offer him one.
Luiz,
what's your thoughts on that?
I think he gets a lot of stick, and he deserves stick for. Yeah, he does make silly mistakes for a senior player. He makes just pathetic mistakes, but he's always going to get remembered. Defenders always going to get remembered for a mistake, a red card, something like that. Do you know what I mean? They're always going to get remembered. But like, you've got to look at, you know, our defensive stats for this calendar year have been all right. We ain't been like conceding loads of goals, and that's you know, a lot of it that's down to David Luiz. You know, apparently he's a brilliant influence on the young players.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention.
You know, it's a similar situation to why they kept Per Mertesacker on. You know, he didn't play a game that season when we win the FA Cup, apart from the final. But you know, such an influence on the players that, you know, that's got, you know, for a player to be like looked upon like that, you know, that's the sort of player you want to keep around for a little while, I think.
Yeah, of course.
It's not that bad. It's not terrible, but like, you know, fans on Facebook, etc., you know, do jump on the bandwagon a little bit, and like, you know, but when you really look at it, it's a solid player. I know a lot of people disagree with me, but like, Luiz is a solid player. Yeah, he makes mistakes.
He really is. Who do you think is his best pairing?
The trouble with Luiz is.
Oh, sorry, you carry on, Charlie.
No, I say the only problem with Luiz is when he has a good game, he has a very good game. But when he has a bad game, he has a diabolical game.
Yeah,
you can sort of tell.
It ain't just one mistake he tends to make.
You can tell in the first 10 minutes what sort of game he's going to have as well with Luiz. You can see, like he sort of in the first 10 minutes, you know, like it's like he's nervous or something. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Like, but I rated him when he was at Chelsea. They played him they played him defensive midfield. I thought I'd like to see a bit more of that at Arsenal, but like, obviously things haven't gone that way. But like, you know, he played defensive midfield, and he was like better than I've seen him playing defence. But things obviously haven't gone that way though at Arsenal.
What about you, Jay? What's him?
I'm pretty much second what Garry said about David Luiz. I agree that he does get a lot of stick. And I agree with what you said as well. When he looks good, he looks good. When he does have a bad game, it usually is really bad game. Like he's not really a hot. Well, he is a hot and cold player, but he doesn't really ever make poor mistakes and then make up for it later on. If he makes mistakes early, you know he's going to get targeted and continue to make the mistakes and likely get sent off. But again, like what Garry said, yeah, he gets very shaky. He gets very shaky. It was brilliant yesterday, driving forward, playing out from the back, winning aerial duels. He was fantastic yesterday.
It was the old Louise, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah.
It was the old Louise. Getting on from Chelsea. What's your thoughts on Willian over the last since he's been here?
I mean, we were all, I imagine, pretty hopeful with his debut being, his debut. He looked really good. He looked quality, but I think with Willian, I think in his head he's still younger than he is. I think in his head he's still faster than he is. So he tries to do things that he previously was able to do 3 seasons ago that he no longer quite has the legs for, and he's always stretching, he's always reaching, and he's never quite on the same wavelength as everyone else. Yesterday we came on...
But Jay, it wasn't 3 seasons ago, it was last season for Chelsea, and he was still...
but some Chelsea fans were on his case last season. Some Chelsea fans were a bit like, Christ, and were quite happy to see the arse end of him. Because it was like, but then that could have been him thinking, my contract's running out and blah, blah, blah. And again, with like what's happened with Oba, we don't know if there's something going on in Willian's life behind the scenes, or if just COVID in general is affecting him. COVID could be affecting a myriad of players that we don't know that. I mean, it's affecting many of us. I know, obviously, they've got these lavish lifestyles and plenty of cash, but it's still affecting people's mental health.
Something's going on with him because he just he doesn't look like a quarter of the player he was at Chelsea even last year.
No, not at all.
No.
And do you know what? I hate seeing players getting singled out for like stick, and there always seems to be a scapegoat. But Willian, I can't say, I can't even see any plus points in his game, especially yesterday. They brought him on. I'm not going to blame Luis for any of the Willian for any of the goals, or he didn't really make a mistake like that. But he just didn't have any input in the chain.
He tried a few things, like on the edge of the box with Saka, and Saka didn't read what he was trying to do. But other than that, he didn't really contribute anything. I would much rather see Martinelli come on and get minutes.
It's a formation problem, though, Jay.
I mean, I don't know, because people were saying, Willian can play the number 10, and I'm thinking to myself, I don't think so. Especially not with the mindset he's got at the moment, where he, again, like I said, I think he believes he's still faster than he is.
Yeah.
And I think that leads to too many errors, and I can't see him, especially with the emergence of Emile Smith-Rowe, and obviously bringing in Martin Odegaard. I can't see Willian getting played at number 10. So, I mean, maybe it's a formation problem, and maybe having him on left, right wing, it might work. I certainly would never play him at centre forward again. Like, I can't remember what game that was. He got played at centre forward, but that did not work one bit. I don't know if it's a formation problem with him. I think it's a player problem. I think he could, when he was firing for Chelsea, there was a point in time where all the pundits were right up Hazard's ass. Hazard, he couldn't do a thing wrong. He was a star man of the Premier League, not just Chelsea. And it's like, well, look at Willian. Willian is just under his level. At that point in time, he was just under his level. Without Willian, they didn't tick as much. And the same could be said now for people that think Mo Salah is Liverpool's best player. I think it's Mane, by far. He's definitely their best forward. It was kind of like that with Willian and Hazard. It was like there was times where Willian was actually the better of the two.
Well, I've got a few Chelsea pals, and they was raving on about him for years. Willian, like my friend saying, like it's his favourite player, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And gutted when he left and come to Arsenal. And you know what? When this whole thing come up, where he coming on a free, why are we getting free transfers, blah blah blah. On Facebook, obviously, he's had his day, blah blah blah. And there's me defending it, saying we're talking about it's Willian.
I was doing the same.
Pretty decent seasons in him. He can take a decent free kick. You know what I mean? He's a decent player, and I defended him to the hilt. And on his first, like his debut,
yeah, the Fulham game was brilliant.
I thought, wow, we've really we've had it away here. But since then, he's done next to nothing. He's become a really boring player, and I don't think he fits. I don't think he fits.
No, he don't fit our style of play. I don't think. No, I think that William.
Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, I think that William will take over from being a scapegoat after Ozil. Now Ozil's gone, he was getting all the, everyone was having a pop at and whatever. I now think it's going to sort of move on to William.
I think Arsenal fans are a bit miserable and they just like having their scapegoat. They like taking their frustrations out on one player, not the team. It's a team game at the end of the day, but there's no room for passengers at Arsenal.
Yeah. No, but you know what gets me, Gal, is that, as I said to you earlier, my son does a podcast, and, there's thousands of people watch him. And some fans would rather Arsenal lose to get better. At the end of the day, we're all after the same thing. We all want Arsenal to win every single game.
I can't understand that.
That's what we want. But
I can't understand that.
There's a transition period. It's a transition period.
Yeah.
You're going to win every game overnight.
That's the way I'm not even worried about this season because, like you said, it's a transition period. And
exactly.
It's nice to see Arsenal do well and look like in the transition period we are moving forward. And I think we're not moving forward fast enough for a lot of people. But like to be saying like Arteta out, to me that's
ludicrous.
You don't understand what's going on if you're saying that. Yeah. Like we knew this window. We knew this window was about getting players out, and we knew that the next window will be about rebuilding the squad. So like, be patient.
Yeah. I see this January transfer window as hugely successful, even though we didn't bring in a myriad of big names that a lot of people would have wanted. The fact that we've offloaded, your Ozil, Mustafi, Kolasinac probably won't come back. Saliba's out getting valuable loan time. I know a lot of fans have turned on him recently because of his antics, but Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Joe Willock, we've re-upped loans for the youngsters, James Olayinka, Zach Medley, a myriad of others that I can't, pull out my ass right now, but it's success. It has been hugely successful.
The main ones, I mean, Mkhitaryan, Mace has gone, Ozil's gone, Socrates, Mustafi, Kolasinac. The only one I wasn't happy with, and I think we've had a lot of deadwood at Arsenal for a long while, but the only one I'm happy with that went was Martinez.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I would have done everything possible to keep hold of Martinez for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
He was fantastic and he loved Arsenal.
But, he was at Arsenal for 10 years and like he's not guaranteed to be the number one. So
he deserves the game time. Yeah.
No. I think that's why he went. He was probably guaranteed first team football Villa and thought, I've been here 10 years. I haven't sort of got first team football, and it could be another 3 or 4 years before I'm even considered as a first team player. So I don't blame him because everybody wants to better themselves.
Do you rate him than Leno? Do you rate him than Leno, Charlie?
I think Leno's a bit like Louise, to be honest. When he's on his game, he does quite well, but when he makes a mistake, you sort of think, "Oh my God, what are you doing?"
The buck stops with the goal.
I mean, he couldn't really do a lot. Yeah, he couldn't do a lot with them 2 goals yesterday. Although the first one, the header, I think we should. I mean, that was Louise's fault anyway, wasn't it? the defender just left him. And then we got the second. I mean, we're 4-2, or we was winning 4-2. What was you in then? Like, oh no, not again, or because Leeds are a funny side, aren't they? You know, they can come at you.
I think I felt equally as uncomfortable as I felt comfortable. I was pretty much sat on the fence for that one because, again, like you said, it was Leeds could have somehow got a result out of that, but at the same time, I feel like we were doing enough. You know, obviously the header could have been prevented. I mean, the second goal could have been prevented as well, but I feel like we had done enough. I think we had already kind of beaten them down. I mean, they were growing. They were growing into that game. If the game had another 20, 30 minutes, who knows? But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I felt a little uncomfortable, but at the same time, I think, you know, I kind of felt a bit, you know, sure that we would get the result.
We had a 10, 15-minute period, didn't we, where we was like, you know, we couldn't put a pass together. But once we got over that sort of 10, 15 minutes, we started playing and we was all going.
Well, he brought
What did you think, Gal, when they went 4-2?
I could see him getting into it, really. I weren't that worried about it. I was, you know, like Leeds deserved their 2 goals. Arteta obviously brought Willian on, but like, you know, that doesn't make no difference. He brought El Neni on, you know, just to shore it up a little bit, you know, because Arteta he made a decent substitution there. So like, you know, he did what he had to do. I couldn't really see Leeds getting back into it. They also said yesterday after the game they couldn't handle Granit Xhaka and Ceballos. They didn't have an answer for that. Like yeah, you know, when you're in that game, you're going to talk about Aubameyang, Bukayo Saka, etc. But you know, Granit Xhaka and Ceballos yesterday, they was immense. They just went about the business. You know what I mean? Like another player that gets a lot of stick, Granit Xhaka, a lot of stick. But like he's been going about his business. I also rate him really highly, but like he don't deserve the stick that he gets. I think he's a changed player. I think, you know. So yeah, I couldn't really see Leeds getting back into it. I wasn't worried.
I quite like the pairing of Xhaka and El Neni, to be honest. But like in the early part of the season, I think they play well together.
Yeah. I think Xhaka's complemented by having good players next to him, and I think having El Neni, having Ceballos, having Thomas Partey all suit Xhaka, especially when it's like if Xhaka's playing alongside Ceballos and we've got Emile Smith-Rowe and like an Odegaard in front, then neither of them have to be too adventurous going forward. They can just stick to what they know, stick to their jobs that they do well, and allow the other more creative players to
having that pairing. That's the point of having that pairing. How about Granit Xhaka and Guendouzi? Because like I thought that was an all right pairing, and I thought like Xhaka, I thought Guendouzi could learn a lot from him, but obviously it weren't to be. Do you think he'll come back to Arsenal?
I hope so. I want him to come back because I feel like in the early stages of Guendouzi being at Arsenal, he was getting all the plaudits, even when he wasn't necessarily playing his best football. A lot of people, well, Arsenal fans especially, were thinking, God, this kid has big potential. And I'd rather him come back to Arsenal, have some more positive and good game time at Arsenal. And if we are to offload him, do it that way rather than straight after a loan where we can actually get some, hopefully, because we never really do, but get some decent money for him if we were to offload him.
Yeah.
It don't seem like
the thing is that I mean, I think Guendouzi tried to sort of play above himself. He thought he had to prove him so much. He put himself about, which you want to see. You player to his other players up and you know, but I just think you sort of went over the top too much.
Yeah, he'll mature though. I'm sure he'll mature and he'll become a more well-rounded player.
More humble,
Oh, Rob's just said.
Robin van der Sea saying Fabio Fabrizio Romano, is the door is still open for Guendouzi to return. Yeah, I can see him and Xhaka, pairing up well together.
Yeah,
I really can.
I rate, but we don't really know. Apparently, he was really disruptive in training and things like that.
You can tell he's excitable.
Yeah, but
you can tell he's that sort of player.
Yeah,
for him to be playing up, Arteta had just come to, just come back to Arsenal, just taking the coach's job. Guendouzi's like dancing about at training and that.
Yeah, it's not the best, but again,
what's he going to do? He's going to have to put his marker down, isn't he, and say like, no, So
yeah, I mean, I'm hoping he's going to have learned a lot from this loan move to Hertha Berlin. I mean, he's already he's getting plenty of game time there, which is nothing but a positive. And hopefully, I mean, Christ, he is still very young. Not everyone's at that age is going to be super mature. He's going to mature a lot. He's got a lot of growing up to do, and it will happen pretty quickly over the next year or two, Especially now as well. I think when I noticed that his girlfriend's pregnant or his wife is pregnant and he's going to be a dad, I think that should help give him a little kick up the ass and help him mature, not just as a player, but as a man, and realize that, I need to, sort myself out.
Well, the thing is that, if he comes back a better player, then it's worth that year being out on loan, isn't it?
For sure, yeah.
100%, mate, 100%.
Right, before we get on to something else, Garry, how long are you prepared to give Arteta before you sort of say, well, you've had your chance, enough is enough? What's your feelings on that?
Well, depending how next season goes, I'm expecting the Champions League finish next season, 100%. And after that, you can't really see into the future, but I think he needs to show that he's improving, to be, reassessed every 3 or 4 months and see that the team are actually moving forward and that he's implementing ideas, that the team are actually taking notice of what he's trying to do. Because I always back the managers, and I got a lot of stick for backing Wenger for as long as I did, and backed Emery until he gave me reason not to. Arteta hasn't really given me a reason not to back him. So yeah, I'll give him 2 seasons just to see what's happening. But if next season we're absolutely poor and as second and bottom half of the table again, I've got no reason to back him because it just shows to me that he hasn't got it. I ain't able to mind that either way, whether he's got it or not at the moment. But by this time next year, probably we're going to know whether it was a good idea to sign him or not. So
yeah.
I wouldn't be going around saying,
pretty much echo what Garry just said. To be honest, I'd give him a couple more seasons. I think he's already got the backing of the board. I think when he got the promotion from first team coach to manager, I think that was them showing their statement of intent to stick by Arteta and to give him the time and hopefully the resources he needs in order to build this squad into what he wants. He certainly has a good working relationship with Edu. I like that. I like how much they are in conversation with each other. I like the way that they clearly are helping each other out and making things work. I liked his comments recently where he said, my wife says that I speak to Edu more than her. I think obviously don't let it get in the way of his personal relationships, but I like the fact that he's constantly in dialogue with Edu. I like the fact that he's constantly working on something. He's constantly got ideas. I like the look of this Thomas that we've been linked with Sporting Lisbon. I see that that's something that obviously he sent Edu to kind of monitor. But I think he deserves the time. I agree with Garry. Obviously, if things are going south, if things are looking dire, then obviously you can't stick with him for too long. but I think he's already being given the tools he needs. He's already being allowed to, oust players. He was allowed to let Mesut Ozil sit and think about what he had done and think about how much he wasn't adding to the team, and he was able to get rid of him. He was able to say, no, Mustafi's not good enough. No, he's not getting in my team. I'm sorry, but no. He was able to say the same about Socrates. It's like, we all know, especially at Dortmund, Socrates was a monster. He is a titan of a defender. The Premier League's not suited for him. It just wasn't right. So he was able to just say, no, I'm leaving them two players out. And when I can get rid of them, I can get rid of them. And I think we need to back him. 100% we need to back him. And I think the Arteta out brigade, like Garry said earlier, you don't know enough about the sport. You don't know enough about how football works if you're really honestly saying that. If you're an Arsenal fan and you're honestly saying Arteta out already,
I mean, I don't know what Arsenal fans want if they're saying Arteta out. When I sit on my group, I always say Arteta out, and then what? What they're going to do? Do you really think they're going to sack him off? Yeah, pay up his contract or whatever they do, get in a new manager, a new top manager,
and have to start all over again.
For starters, who? So you're looking at an interim manager, what's going to be Per Mertesacker or someone like that. Say what you like about Arsenal, but they're not known for making swift decisions. I was surprised when they sacked Emery like they did. I was really surprised. But they're really not
after that cup final.
In their feet.
Yeah, I think that was his.
After the Europa Cup final, that was like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, Emery was.
If they was going to start Arteta, if the ball were going to sack him, they'd have done it at Christmas when we was on a bad run.
Yeah. But it just defeats the object.
All the different results. Huh?
It defeats the object of starting the project, though. That's how I look at it. That's why I'm not that worried, because
why get to 25% and then swipe it away and start from 0% again and work all the way? But at the end of the day, we are in again, like you said earlier, the process. This is the process. If we get rid of Arteta and bring someone else in, we start the process all over again.
There's no guarantees.
And exactly what Rob just said there, the Arteta out brigade will be just as quick to turn on any replacement, and it's exactly that.
It's just I think what you were saying, going back to what you said earlier about the younger fans. I think.
100%. It's the Twitter. It's the Twitter brigade. If you look on social media, you see tweets or comments from Man United fans, Tottenham fans, Liverpool fans, random fans from all over the world. Finnish club, small club. What I know about Arsenal is blah blah. They all copy and paste each other's shit, and then you will even have Arsenal fans that are defending the club, and they'll just say something simple like "ratioed" and expect people to like their tweet, and it's like this petty, small, little man mentality of I'm going to one up you on the internet. Just to get something.
It's not support.
It just feeds the nonsense. It's like it's just FIFA players thinking because they can do it on manager mode on FIFA or Pro Evolution Soccer. That's how it works in real life.
Let's face it. We're all experts, aren't we? We're all experts when we watch the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't think I am, mate. I don't think I am. I just like to watch football and enjoy a good game, but I'm not really a pundit sort of person, I talk about the game, but I don't claim to know the ins and outs of that. I really, really don't, Especially
there's so much.
Sorry, Gary. Well, you know, some of these people on Facebook, it's like you wondering if they've even watched the game.
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah,
watch a
it's crazy.
highlight reel, you know. But anyway, enough of that.
There's so much going on behind the scenes.
Like 10 minutes on Match of the Day.
Yeah, or YouTube,
know exactly what it is.
know, if they're overseas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's get on to the player ratings then for yesterday's game.
Right.
I've got Leno as a 7 because I don't think he'd done anything outstanding. He never done anything, anything wrong. So
yeah, he made a couple of decent.
What's yours out of 10, Gary?
Yeah, I'd say 7. He just did what he had to do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really say he was at fault for the goals. Like you said, Lewis was at fault for that first goal. So yeah, I'd go with that 7. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. He made, he made a couple of different saves.
Yeah, I'd say 6, 7, probably pushing closer to the 7 mark. Again, like what Gary said, a few mistakes here and there, but he's solid. He proves that time and time again.
Yeah. Before we go too far, just got
half the people that watch the game
from Ruben Goog.
Yeah,
I
agree.
think half the people do watch the game. They see what he's written with it. Yeah, probably true there, Ruben. Probably true. Yeah. Garry, Bellerin.
Hecky B.
I hate that nickname.
No, that is his name, and I will be using it from now on. He gets a lot of stick, Hector, but I thought he has a good game. Do you know what?
He did have a good game.
Yeah.
But I'll give him a 7 because of the goal.
I'll give him a 7 as well.
His finish, the finish was decent. I know he's not there to score goals, but I just wanted to talk about that goal because Saka's little steal across the front of the box, that was something else. And Ceballos with his little pass.
You know what?
Bellerin.
That little Meg was lovely.
Before we come on to yours, Jay, for Bellerin, haven't we just been a different team since, like, Smith Rowe's come in, Xhaka's come in, the youngsters have come in, and we're a different team altogether.
It's like they're buying into Arteta. You know what I mean? The younger players, obviously, they're buying into it, and they're being rewarded for buying into it. They're doing as they're told,
Playing with no fear as well, willing to drive.
Yeah, that was probably the problem with Ozil. I never reckoned him. He was too lazy for me. He was like a petulant child. If you don't give me the ball, I'm not going to go for it. I'm not going to move it.
Oh,
you give it to me.
On his day, wonderful.
He was immense on his day.
Talk about Ozil all day.
Yeah,
because on his day he was blind.
He was hot and cold, wasn't he?
Yeah, his day didn't come often enough. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So, Jason, Bellerin out of 10.
I'm going to agree with both of you. 7 again. Definitely one of his better games of the season. I think he looks better offensively than he looks defensively. I think recently, actually, he has been a bit better defensively. I think he's tried to stay back in his position a bit better. It really annoys me when I see him float into the middle of the park. It's like, you're a right back. Stay on the flank. Keep your position. Keep a watchful eye of what's going on around you, or you'll be exploited. And a lot of the time, we do have teams going at Bellerin. But yesterday he looked really good. I liked the goal. I liked his movement. He was constantly getting forward. He whipped in a good few crosses into danger areas. They didn't all come off, but they were all mostly in a good danger area. And I agree. I think 7's a good rating for him. I think he had a good game.
7 for Hecky B, you got to say, Joe.
I think it was
Hector Bellerin, not Hecky B, with his flares and his whatever else. I don't know. I just said something about that Hecky B. I don't like it.
You're obviously not a true Gooner.
Mr. Louise, I'll actually give him a 6.
Yeah,
David Louise, I'll give him a 6.
yeah, 6, 7. Again, like I mentioned earlier, you know, there was a few times where he was driving at the defense, you know, just pushing up, making things happen. You know, they didn't always come off, but I liked the desire he showed. He was good in the air. You know, he was at fault for their first goal, but I think he had a pretty solid game.
I'm going to change that to a 7. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think most people had a 7.
I'll change that to a 7. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not having it, mate.
So, Garry, what are you giving Louise?
5. Just for the goal. Yeah, just for the like the goal. It just like he shouldn't be losing concentration like that. I just think his positioning was bad. He didn't do that. You know, he didn't do that much wrong. Don't get me wrong, but he didn't do anything to warrant a 7. He just did his job. You know what I mean? So can't be giving him too much. He might be watching, Joe. You know.
I'll
give
him a 5.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
I have spoken.
Music Garry. I'll give him a. Can I do decimals? Can I give him a 6.5?
For who?
For David Luiz.
Right.
I'll give him a 7. I think I like the look of what he was trying to do yesterday.
You're worse than me. You're changing now.
Yeah.
I'll partner, Mr. Gabriel.
I think Gabriel had yet another. I think after a couple of shaky games. I think he had another good performance. Sometimes when he received the ball, I felt like he maybe didn't distribute it quick enough. Kind of tempting fate a little bit, trying to, you know, dribble around a few players a bit too much. But thankfully, he wasn't really dispossessed much, and I think he had another good game. Again, I'm gonna give him a 7, and I think most people got a 7 for me yesterday.
What about you, Garry?
I'd say a strong 6. I was I wasn't that impressed by him. I wasn't disappointed. I was glad that his confidence seemed to drop away a bit after his debut and like his first couple of games. But like I'll give him a 6. Yeah, he just went about his business. Yeah, didn't really get caught napping. So yeah.
What playing at left back?
I think Cedric's done an okay job, to be fair, filling out left back. I think the Southampton game in the FA Cup, he looked out of sorts completely. Yesterday, he looked all right. It wasn't his best game. It wasn't his worst. I would say I'd give him a 6. Cedric for yesterday's performance, you know.
I'll give him a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I think I'd give him a 6. But I think he does his job. It's not his position, but he's. I really worried when Tierney, you know, they come out and said he's got a different injury. I was that was why I was quite baffled that Ainsley goal.
Pick up the injuries.
Yeah, I was baffled when Ainsley made the Knowles goal because I thought, you know, that would be him and then people are saying, play Bukayo Saka left back, but like no, I think them days are gone.
No,
so Cedric, I'll give him a 6 because he does well out of position. So
yeah.
Okay, Ceballos. I'll give him a 6 as well.
Yeah,
I'll give him. I'll give him
7 maybe.
I'll give him an 8 actually because that assist is worth 1 point. I thought he had a decent game.
Yeah.
I thought he had a decent game. He's good at leading. You know, drawing defenders out. He creates problems. He creates space. He linked up well with Granit Xhaka. So yeah, I'd give him an 8. But half of the
Garry?
I'd give him a strong 7, borderline 8. You know, I agree with Gary said. He had a good game, good distribution. I'm liking the link up between him and Xhaka. It's looking more and more solid. You know, I'm hit and miss with Ceballos. I'll be honest with that. I don't know if I'd take him on a permanent. I feel like if the rumours are true and they would be happy to part with him for 22 million, I think that's not too bad for someone as young as Ceballos. Supposedly, isn't it? I think that's I think that wouldn't be too bad. And obviously, apparently, you know, Real Madrid have got some serious financial troubles at the moment. So if they would be willing to part for that amount of money, I think it would be worth doing. But I don't know. He's hot and cold. I think he had a good game yesterday. I think he's much better when he's composed. He's alongside a Granit Xhaka who's also playing rather composed at the moment. And when he's got the attacking players in front of him, I think he had a good game. So yeah, a strong 7. And that assist through the legs.
What are you giving him?
Yeah. So again, Gal?
What are you giving him?
I give him a 6, Ceballos. He's in and out for me. He ain't consistent enough.
No, we're talking about this guy.
Xhaka. I'll give Xhaka 7. I thought he had quite a decent game, Xhaka. He's sort of come back into himself over the last couple of months, and he's been playing well. So I went for 7 for Xhaka.
Yeah.
Garry?
I'll give him a 7. Yeah, he just went about his business, Granit Xhaka, and he gets a lot of stick. I don't know why he gets stick.
Yeah, I'm with you both on that. I think 7's a good score, a good rating for him. Yeah. You know, his distribution is getting better. He is. You can see he's trying to play it forward more. The pass to Oba that led to the first goal, I think that was it was a good pass. I think 7's a good score for Xhaka for yesterday. Yeah.
A strong 7.
Okay. My man of the match was Xhaka.
Yeah, mine too. But I can.
A 9.
I was just going to say, kind of joint. Obviously, I mean, Oba got it for the hat trick. I also give Saka a 9, for sure. For sure, he was outstanding yet again yesterday.
Yeah,
I'd give him a strong.
Same as ESR.
I'd give him a strong 8. Bukayo Saka, and that's not like taking anything away, but like he did. Not gonna lie, he did sort of disappear a little bit in that second half, but you can't take anything away. He's a forward-thinking player. He makes everything look easy. He's good at winning penalties and free kicks because he's a tricky player. He's forward-thinking.
Bodyguard.
When they said they was going to give the number 7. People were saying he's not ready for it, but like he's proved that he's ready for that shirt. None of the players would have worn that shirt. So I'll give him an 8.
Okay, Bodyguard.
I'd say probably a 7.
I'll give him a 6.
He was involved, but I don't know. He was pretty quiet. He looked good. He was trying. Yeah. I think he might have tried a little too hard at times. But
I think he done what he had to do.
No, definitely. I think we're yet to see the best from him, mate.
For sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
He's still finding his feet.
Yeah.
I'll give him a 7. He's a neat player. He don't really make mistakes. He keeps it all nice and neat. Do you know what I mean? He's like, he's good under pressure. He's good off the ball as well. So yeah, he's good little link-up player.
Yeah. Doing that one.
What about Jay?
Pardon?
What about you? What are you giving Odegaard?
Odegaard, I'd 7. Like I said a minute ago, he didn't really do too much, didn't do anything wrong. Solid performance.
Yeah. Okay. ESR, Emil Smith Rowe.
Okay.
I'd say probably.
I give him a 7.
Yeah, I'd say probably the same as Odegaard. It was a quieter game for Emil yesterday. As per usual. I mean, the good thing with Emil is, obviously we had an 8-day break between our last game and yesterday's. He doesn't look like he's the sort of player that's gonna burn out. He looks like if you put him on the pitch, he's gonna give us all. He's always trying. He's always trying to go forward. His pace, I mentioned yesterday in the group. His pace has improved massively recently. When he gets the ball and decides to go on little bursting runs, he really just takes off. And I've been really
his ball control's really improved
massively.
Also, he's a young lad.
Garry?
I'll give him a 7. He's like, obviously he's still a young lad, but he plays with so much assurance with what he does. They're basically, he must be one of the first names on the team sheet.
Yeah,
like the sort of big name around him. He's a kid. What were you doing when you was his age? Do you know what I mean? He's got so much weight in his shoulders, but it's like it doesn't faze him. He's flourishing. So yeah. I'm really impressed with him. I'll give him a 7.
Me too.
Okay. Finally, Mr. Aubameyang.
9.
I give him an 8. And the reason I give him an 8 was he got the, but he didn't do a lot more for me. But you're going for 9, Jay.
Yeah, I think he was. He did his role as a centre forward. I think he did. I think he played fantastically. To be honest, he like you said. I suppose he didn't really get back much. He is not too much in the way of link-up play, but when he received the ball, he made things work. That first goal was brilliant. The penalty was well taken. The third goal, I know. Even Alan Smith said it in commentary. Emil Smith Rowe. He says he was looking to shoot. I think he was picking out Oba. I think he knew Oba was there. Fantastic header. I think he was unlucky not to get a fourth. I think when he rattled the postage stamp of the post, it was unlucky. I think if you come away with the match ball and a hat trick, I think you can't really have anything less than an 8 or a 9. So I'm going to give him a 9. I think he played really well. I think it's going to do him the world of good. I think he did that for his mum, for his kids. I feel like he's going to be feeling good. The team energy around him is going to be feeling good, and it wouldn't surprise me. I think Laka will probably start against Benfica, but it wouldn't surprise me if he gets at least half an hour and a goal in that game. To be fair,
you don't think
he might not even travel. Pardon, Gary?
You don't think he'll start?
No, I think Lacazette will start. I think Lacazette, Pepe, possibly Martinelli. But I don't know how much he's going to change up the team. I'd like him to start. I really would, but I don't think he will. I think Lacazette will start, and I think Pepe will start, and maybe Martinelli, but probably Willian.
So you think he's going to go down the squad rotation route for the Europa League then? Yeah?
I think so. I think Matty Ryan might even play in goal.
Yeah. Still,
Okay, so Gary, what you giving?
Yeah, I'll give Aubameyang a 9. He did do
9.
It's hard not to say 10. To get a hat trick, but he didn't do. I know it sounds really weird to say, but he didn't do much else.
No,
he didn't do much else. His movement was.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
But that sounds harsh. But for someone to get a 10, they're gonna have to do something.
If it was Saka that got a couple of goals yesterday. 10.
If it was William that got a hat trick, I'd have given him a 10.
Yeah. Right, listen, guys, I'm going to call it a day now. I've got, as I said to you, I've got to click and collect at Tesco's, so I've got to shoot. If you are in the chat, please, if you could like, share, and subscribe to the channel on Facebook, that'd be absolutely fantastic. So we're playing Thursday, lads. Just a score prediction.
2-0. 2-0 to the Arsenal.
2-0.
I think I'm going for 1-1. I'm going for 1-1. I think I don't underestimate Benfica at all.
Okay.
Oh no, they are a fantastic team, but I think we're in.
No.
I'm not. You know, it's unproven. It's unproven at the moment how well this team is going to travel. I know it's only over in Italy, but I'm going for a 1-1.
Yeah. Well, let's hope for a win anyway. Well, listen, guys, it's been fascinating. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hopefully we can do this again. I fix for Friday night for an hour.
Yeah.
I'm free.
Game.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get a couple more of the admin team on.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Well,
Charlie.
I'll message you during the week, mate.
Okay, mate, that's lovely.
Yeah, so if everybody can please like, share, and subscribe, that'll be fantastic. Listen, guys, thanks very much. Take care. Have a good week.
You too, mate. Thank you.
And let's hope for an Arsenal win on Thursday.
Up
Thank you very much, everybody.
Cool. Take care.
See you, mate.
I'll speak to you soon.
Yep.